Hello, in this video we will be introducing the hydraulic schematics for EHI and OSPE. In this schematic we can see five main parts: a traditional load sense dynamic non-reaction steering unit, OSPLS, a SASA sensor for electronic disengage of EH steering, the electrohydraulic valve, EHI, the actuator, PVED-CLS, and an external priority valve. Within EHI, we can see the EH cutoff valve, which acts as a switch to open and close the path for EH flow to the steering cylinder. The EH directional spool with centering springs controls the cylinder movement when actuating PVED-CLS. The springs keep the spool in the center when the PVE is in neutral or shut off. The solenoid control valve for mode select. When powered, reaction mode is cut off and EH steering is possible. The pilot reduction valve, 13 bar, controls the pilot pressure for mode select valve and for PVED-CLS. The PVFC valve, or LS resolver, transmits the LS pressure from the EH directional spool into the LS line for the priority valve. The pilot relief valve limits the maximum steering pressure. With a traditional reaction steering unit, the EHI will need an RSV valve. RSV, or reaction switch valve, is the open and close for the reaction feature of the LSR type steering unit. When closed, the steering wheel will stay in a fixed position independent of cylinder port pressures. Reaction must be turned off for EH steering modes, or the steering wheel will turn instead of the wheels. With the RSV, we now have two pilot reduction valves, both 13 bar. The first pilot reduction valve controls the pilot pressure for the solenoid valve. The second pilot reduction valve controls the pilot pressure for the PVE and the first pilot reduction valve. The two pilot reduction valves in series makes 26 bar available for the RSV and cutoff valve. In OSPE, all the components such as the traditional steering unit, PVED-CLS, and the EH components are all included into one unit. However, the EH cutoff valve is now used for mode select, meaning it makes the switch between reaction and non-reaction in steering wheel modes, and to open and close the EH flow to the steering cylinder. The parts we've seen from the EHI include the mode select and EH cutoff valve, the EH directional spool with centering springs, the control valve for mode select, the pilot reduction valve, the PVFC valve or LS resolver, and the pilot relief valve. The new parts include shock valves to limit the max pressure on the servo side to reduce external impact on the steered wheels, suction valves to avoid cavitation in the steering cylinder circuit. The spool sleeve set with neutral spring kit controls the cylinder movement related to the steering wheel turning together with the gear set. The springs keep the spool sleeve set in neutral when the steering wheel is untouched. The emergency steering valve to make it possible to suck oil from the tank in case of failing pump supply. The check valve and P to avoid backstream in the pump line when steering up against a preloaded steering cylinder and to avoid cavitation in emergency steering mode. The check valve in LS avoids backflow into the pilot relief valve from the steering circuit. The priority valve, dynamic type, controls the standby pressure across the spool sleeve set and across the EH directional spool. The dynamic orifice generates dynamic flow in the LS line. That is everything for this video. Thank you for watching.